So as always, I think we're live by now. Let me know how the audio is. Let me know how the music volume is relative to my voice. All of that. And I want to acknowledge, thank you very much to Something or Other. We've got 20 gifted memberships. The Oil Baron striking early indeed. Stream hasn't even begun and we already have incredibly generous donations. So thank you very much, Something or Other. As always, you are an incredible supporter of the channel. And if you want to say something in chat, just say so. And I will read it out. They say Something or Other saying I try to get pre-stream people, which is cool. People that are here early, waiting for the stream. The true fans, I guess you could say. But no, really, I appreciate all attendees. And yes, it can target offline people as well. In fact, a lot of the membership donations seem to go to people that aren't on stream, because I think it's based on things like comments as well. So yeah, kind of an interesting system there. But yeah, today we're building paraspam. So that's pretty fun. Not much to say, just kind of tired today. It's been an intense few days and I wasn't really feeling like really building something tough and like really straining my brain. So I figure let's just build paraspam. That shouldn't be too hard. I mean, weirdly enough, it actually kind of seems to be sort of a difficult archetype to build, but not horrible, you know, not horribly difficult. So let's just take a look at some of our previous pairs. So I've assembled a list here. I guess I can walk you guys through this list first of Pokemon that are potential team members. So obviously Serperior is a classic one. You know, Glare. It gets Glare. It gets like Serp's gonna be on the paraspam. Then some other Glare Pokemon. Right? If you see Glare, Glare is probably the best paralyzing move in the game. Maybe Nuzzle, but I would say it's Glare. Obviously, Seviper and Arbok are terrible, but, you know, Sandaconda I could see maybe having a place. It gets Stealth Rock, it gets Glare. More likely, though, we'd go with the Dunsparce, which has, you know, Glare, SR. I think on a paraspam team, we can maybe get away without an electric immunity because it probably will be more kind of a hyper offense build. But yeah, so that's going to be Subtech. Kyurem is an excellent paraspam abuser. Yep, that is definitely a potential abuse, which I think we've used that before. So I'll add Kyurem to the list. But yeah, so that's screen setter. I've considered screens, so particularly like I don't think. Okay, Frostlass can do T-Wave and Aurora Veil, but you know, Light Screen, Reflect. There are a few Pokemon here that can do that, like Dragapult seems like a possible setter. Dio seems like a possible setter. You know, I guess we could go with a Laddie Twin is possible as well. Could even go with Mold Breaker Tinkaton, you know, to get past Goldango and Garg. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, actually, Tinkaton would be an interest because I'd probably run like, well, it'd probably run Stealth Rock, but you could also run like Ice Hammer to get Gliscor and stuff like that, and then dual screens T-Wave. That would be pretty devastating. Yeah, because you could shut down the Gliscor. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, basically that's we're gonna run some paraspam stuff. Rabombi, I thought Webs might be good. I mean, it works well with Serperior, and Rabombi gets Stun Spore. Hydreigon gets T-Wave, it's a decent lead, and it has Dark Pulse to flinch. Darkrai gets T-Wave, and then Kyurem, just Subtech, really good abuser, as someone mentioned. In general, Subtech. Excuse me. In general, Subtech is pretty good. But yeah, so let's look at some previous paraspam teams that I've made and see if we can get some inspiration from any of those. So let's see, I know like they all have Serp. Did I miss one? Okay. May have skipped past the paraspam. No, that wasn't paraspam. That's not paraspam. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this is our paraspam team we built last time. So we went with a Sandaconda Elite. We had an Iron Moth, which makes some sense, but I feel like we can hopefully do better. Something or other saying, IDK, if I should be donating to a paraspam team, I'm not usually on the side of evil. Yeah, that's fair. Paraspam is it's an interesting strategy for sure. One of questionable morality, I would agree. Scarfrachi, I just don't think is good, because it's like, even if your opponent's paralyzed and you have like an 80% chance or whatever to paralyze them, your opponent just has like a Gliscor or a Heatran. Like just clicking steel moves over and over is not what it was in Gen 4 or even like Gen 7. It's just not good. Scarfrachi, I just really don't see it. I really just don't see it being anything other than horrible. But yeah, we had a Nuzzle Hatterene, which this is a pretty good stall breaker as well, so that's something to consider. We had Darkrai, Nasty Blot Rye, which makes sense. Almost wonder if Mono Dark Pulse would be good with like sub NP. Sub NP T-Wave Dark Pulse seems like a pretty nasty set. Makes Ting-Lu a nightmare though, so maybe not the move. Yeah, this Kyurem was interesting. I feel like it's a little overkill for the stall matchup that we did this, but I can kind of see the vision, I suppose. And then we had an Iron Moth just for defensive support, and it can still parafish with sub. So yeah, did I put Hatterene? Yeah, I got Hatterene. I guess we'll put Iron Moth as possible support as well. Let's see if we made any other paraspam teams. I think there was another one we were sent by Skyman, if I recall correctly. Yeah, here we go. So this, yeah, sub Zapdos, I guess. Petrunt, yeah, I could see Petrunt being a possibility with Hex. So that's the thing. Oh, and that is the set Skyman used, was Mono Dark Pulse. So yeah, that's potentially promising. Yeah, Togekiss is unfortunately not an option here. Oh, come on, it deleted all of our searches. Yeah, Togekiss is not an option here. It's not in the game. I think that was the last of our paraspam. Yeah, seems to be. Okay, cool. So, with that in mind, do you need to run paralyzing attacks on almost every Pokemon for it to be a successful paraspam? Good question. So, how many paraspam Pokemon do we need? I would say we want... Whoa, wait. We want to aim for 4. But 3 to 5 is potentially acceptable. But generally, you want to have a lot of Pokemon able to paralyze. And you want them to be able to paralyze different things and threaten different things. That's also part of the idea. So with that in mind, let's see what we can do here. I want to say, I guess Cresselia could be another option. Cresselia Esp if we go DD Kyurem. So, and healing, well, no, Lunadance restores the PP, but I guess if we did a different set of sub Kyurem, Healing Wish, Thunderwave, yeah, Hatterene would be good support for that as well. So let's think about this. I want to just try to amass the strongest set of paraspam Pokemon we can. So the team is going to have, for sure, Superior. I think there's absolutely no question about that, I would say. We need a SERP. I'm thinking Subglare makes the most sense on Paraspam. Probably Terrablast Stellar, but we can decide that later. Probably Leftovers. I just think this makes way too much sense. Body Slam Tingluke and Paragold. Yeah, that's a questionable statement. Does Tingluke get Body Slam? It does. Like, I'm not going to run that, but, you know, fair enough. I mean, I guess I might. Who's to say, right? Today might get crazy. And if I recall last time, one issue we had with Paraspam was hazards. So I wonder if there's any, like, I mean, can we run, like, Rapid Spin, Thunder Wave? Is there anything that gets that? Forretress, that's not the move. I mean, my Mousehold doesn't. Oh, Mousehold does get T-Wave. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Might not be worth using, but Mousehold is epic. I'd like to see a sub DD Pult. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. I think we'd run sub T-Wave Hex Pult if we were going to go that angle. I mean, we could go DD. I still say, like, DD, Screens, Hex are kind of our options there. We could go DD. DD Pult did do very well for us in another stream. But why is Superior so bad? It's not. It's good. Yeah, so excuse me. Yeah, so we definitely go. I think we've got to have a Superior. That's like the absolute best Paraspam Pokemon there is out there. We really want something to chip Tinglu, because Tinglu is kind of a nightmare for Para. So maybe we can talk about issues for Paraspam, because that basically amounts to Tinglu, Garganacl, Gliscor. You can also see here why Superior is so good, because it's good. It's good against all these kind of ground types. And then I guess Goldengo as well is kind of a nuisance. And then Hatterene probably lastly are kind of the things that can resist Paraspam. I guess we can get Iron Treads on there as well. Kind of Great Tusk, not really though. Failed Boy Genius with the £5 donation. Thank you very much. With the comments saying, Pink was looking at the VR on Smogon last night. It says you're a member of the OU Council. Is this true? If so, how long and what's your role? So I'm a member of the VR Council, which I've actually never voted, which I definitely should do, but it's just time constraints have been rough. But yes, I'm a member of the VR Council. That means I vote on the viability rankings, or I can. As I said, I haven't thus far, but I can. I am not a member of the OU Council, so I have no tiering authority. Okay. Are there any other like problematic ground types that I've forgotten about? Not really. Those other ones are not too big of a problem. Nuzzle generally rocks. I think you should almost always pack Hatterene on a Paraspam. Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree. I feel like Hatterene is a tough one to turn down, just because that can help with Tinglu as well and help with the hazard situation, which as I expressed is pretty rough. No skill Paraspam. How could you pink across? I mean, it's just an interesting archetype that I wanted to try. Like, I'm not gonna like become the Paraspam guy, but you know, it's an interesting niche archetype. It's a little cheesy, but I think maybe it's not cheesy. Maybe it's consistent. And who knows? Maybe if it's really good, we can get Paralysis banned. So who knows? Might turn out to be great. T-Wave Kingambit can do it here for real. I mean, you think about the Pokemon that switch into Kingambit, though, like, a lot of them are okay with getting paralyzed or can't be paralyzed, so I don't know about that. Are electric types not a problem? Like, yeah, but I think they're like 2 electric. I guess Zapdos and Bolt we can add on there too. I did kind of forget about that. But yeah, not as many of them, but yeah, they're there. So we want, I feel like we do want removal of some kind. If we can afford it. Maybe we just can't. But I think it'll be pretty problematic if we don't fit it. Doesn't Superior already check Tinglu, or am I stupid? So you can't just have one Pokemon that beats it and say like, okay, we're good now, right? Because if a lot of the Pokemon on this list just hate Tinglu. Iron Moth, Zapdos, Pecharunt, Dragapult, right? So it's like, if your whole team sucks against Tinglu, but then you have a Superior, you're still bad against Tinglu. Because what happens if you go into Serp and start clicking Leaf Storm? Your opponent's going to switch. They're not just going to be like, oh, dang, take my Tinglu, I guess. You know, that's not how it works. Garganacl an issue for Superior? No. So this is an issue for Paraspam as a whole. It says issues for Paraspam, not issues for Superior. And actually, yeah, Rotomosh is another fun one. Sub Nasty Plot is a cool set. And I also want to put Stall down, because Stall is something people can kind of forget to have an answer to. But I feel like Terrablast Stellar Serp plus CM Stored Hatterene could actually kind of shut that down. So I feel like this is actually a solid breaking course. The idea is, I mean, obviously there's stuff like P-Jab, Toxapex, but generally, Calm Mind Stored Power Hatterene is really rough for a lot of stall teams, and they often have to Terra something to get out of losing to it. And then that's when you Terra Stellar Superior and then blow everything up. Sub-Tect Darkrai with T-Wave and Dark Pulse. I'd probably go Sub-Nasty Plot before I'd go Sub-Tect, but it is an interesting idea. So let's think here. I feel like I want to try a Dragapult. I feel like Dragapult's just going to be good. So let's go with... hard to say which one. I think I'm more inclined to go Infiltrator. But Webs. No, we got to Serp. So yeah, probably go with that. And then we'll go Thunder Wave, Hex, Darts, Sub. So that's fun. That also does help with the stall matchup quite a bit. Darkrai is not 1v1 Blissey. Just a small correction, but it does need Blissey to switch in. It needs that extra turn to Nasty Plot. Otherwise, it's not going to take that. Can't Pex just use Haze against Hat? No, because you paralyze it, and then eventually it's going to get paralyzed as you Calm Mind twice and then threaten to kill it. If it's P-Jab Pex, then yeah, you're in trouble. I think you definitely need a Steel type, probably just Gambit. T-Wave Gambit is an interesting possibility. Gives us Prio as well, which is cool. Let's kind of lock these guys in as our like initial core, and then see what we can do for the rest. Let's see if any like random Pokemon get Thunder Wave that I like didn't know about. Most of these I'm aware of. I think all of these I'm aware of. How common is P-Jab Pex? No idea, honestly. Okay, not that common. That's good. Bug Buzz Iron Moth 6-0's this team. I mean, no, but you do you, I guess. How's this team going to beat opposing Gambit? Right now it's not, because we have 3 Pokemon. So there are a ton of things. Any 3 Pokemon team is getting smoked by a ton of Pokemon. That's just kind of how it goes. How does this team beat Raging Bolt? Once again, 3 Pokemon team. It does not beat Raging Bolt. It loses to a lot of Pokemon because it is a 3 Pokemon team. The time to point, if there are like 4 or 5 Pokemon, that's when you kind of start to think about threats. 3 Pokemon in, I mean, let me phrase that. You should start to think about threats now, but you shouldn't be concerned that you're getting destroyed by Pokemon. Well-baked gold and thick fat syrup in almost any ability paraspam. Yeah, that sounds rough. Do you think Dunsparce can fit? I suspect perhaps, yes. I do like Dunsparce. I do like that it sets Stealth Rock, and I love that it has Glare. So I would like to fit Dunsparce if we can. Remember to like the stream if you're enjoying, by the way. Elo Mamo seems to be a good pick. I don't know about that. Treads doesn't get T-Wave, does it? Yeah, sadly not, which is kind of surprising because it gets a lot of other electric moves. But alas, I mean, we click Thunder on it, but that's not really, it's not really the move. It gets Body Slam too, which is sort of silly, but a Treads for support here might be really good though. Might be really good. Yeah. Let's try with just Hatterene as removal to start, or like hazard control, and we'll see how problematic it gets. Probably add Treads later for hazards. Tusk, Maushold. I also wonder if Paraspam really needs Stealth Rock. I feel like it's not that important to the game plan, so I'm kind of rethinking the Dunsparce. But we'll try it. We'll try it. And we can just rip the Dodon set from our previous team. Yeah, this set was did pretty well for us. So we can just rip that. There we go. Cool. And let's see. So now I think it's a good time to make a we lose to list. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do this. So we lose 2. Now it's time, chat, to say this stuff. So Raging Bolt is still a threat. Curem is a total disaster. Opposing Dragapult is kind of rough. Kinda. Not like the worst thing in the world, but it's not great. Have you considered Serene Grace, Flinch, or probably Jirachi? Not really. Realistically, I don't think any Serene Grace Pokemon are good enough. Like, Sawsbuck's just not that good. It just doesn't, I don't think it has the stats to pull it off. Like, it's not horrible. Like, you could probably get like 2k elo with the Sawsbuck if you like really worked at it and optimized it and put on a paraspam team. But I do think there are stronger abusers, and I think paraspam is like a stronger idea without Sawsbuck. Dunsparce gets headbutt, which it can do, but I think generally Boom Burst is just more consistent and a lot stronger. And then Jirachi, just steal coverage is like so bad. I mean, clicking Ironhead in this tier with Moltres, Zapdos, Heatran running around like King Gambit, it's just such a bad time to be clicking Ironhead. It's just not the move, I don't think. Just not the move at all. Yeah. Let's see, Saraledge is really rough. Darkrai. Yeah, Darkrai's rough. Dragonite kinda depends on the like how speedy it is. Fairy types, Enam being one. If you could use King's Rock Sawsbuck, it would be nasty with two-wave support. So King's Rock does not add a flinch chance to moves that already have a flinch chance. So King's Rock Sawsbuck would not be helpful in any way. Other than unless you, I guess it would boost the flinch chance on like Horn Leech and stuff, make it go up to 10%, but it'd probably be better to just run sub leftovers or something. How about leftovers or something on Jirachi so you aren't forced to Ironhead? The problem is though, like if we're never clicking Ironhead, what's the point of running Jirachi on a paraspam team? You know? Like Jirachi is just in such a horrible place in this metagame. Like okay, look. Walls Jirachi. Bad for Jirachi. Not like walls, but bad for Jirachi. Also bad for Jirachi, right? Immune to body press. Horrible news for Jirachi, especially if it Terra Waters, like you're just totally useless against Garg. Worst news ever for Jirachi right here, Goldengo. Horrible for Jirachi, has like Tusk is bad for it. Heatran's bad for it. And you go like, oh, you could run Ice Punch, you could run Fire Punch, you could run Psych, but like you only have 4 moves on this thing. It's going to be trash no matter what moves you run. And then there's Gambit, also horrible for Jirachi. Moltres, horrible news. Pecharunt, horrible news. Raging Bolt, horrible news. Samurott, horrible. Like, Rachi is in such a bad place in this metagame. So many Pokemon. Like, just half the tier totally shuts it down without even trying. Like, people are over prepping for Jirachi without even thinking about it because that's just the way the metagame is. And then, of course, Zapdos as well. Horrible for Jirachi. So, yeah, I really don't see us doing that. Okay, so fairy types like Enam, Ival are brutal. Wellspring we're kind of like weirdly okay against. Yeah, I've seen the Cobalion suggestion. I'll consider it. I don't think it's the move, but I'll consider it. Trot's rough. Oh, Pecharunt is rough. We've got nothing for opposing Pecharunt. We got Kyurem down already. Walking Wake Sun is not fun, but I think it's maybe manageable. Jirachi definitely isn't trash, lol. I mean, like, I feel like it is. What Jirachi set are you running? That's not trash. In OU. Like, tell me a Jirachi set. Give me 4 moves and an item in OU that makes me think this Jirachi set could work. Thunder, Water Pulse, Ironhead, Rachi. That's definitely bad. Okay, so. Did I get King Gambit on? I somehow missed King Gambit. King Gambit's not fun either. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, this is a tricky one. Does Dragapult not beat Petch? So you got to think of threats to the team in terms of switch-ins. Do we give Petron entry opportunities? Yes, right? We've got a Hatterene with stored power. We've got a Serp. So does Dragapult beat it 1v1? Well, actually, no, because it could Malignant Chain Poison. Well, I think we technically beat it 1v1. But no, the problem is we don't have a switch in. Like, if Petron gets in a position where it can click Malignant Chain, we don't really have an answer for that, and that's pretty bad. You know, the thing I'm thinking of is maybe Roost. Add removal. Maybe Roost over SR on the Dun. Maybe we don't need rocks on a team like this. Be an interesting thought. Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and U-Turn with Assault Vest. I've never used it, but that's an idea. Yeah, that... Banded, Ironhead, Zen Headbutt, U-Turn, Ice Punch. Yeah, I'm not seeing any sets here. Like, these, I mean, these don't sound like horrible, but I'm not hearing any sets that I think would be viable. Like, that would be worth actually running that Pokemon. Gotta remember, there's like their Pokemon. There's steel. We got some steel types. There are Pokemon like Scizor that you can run, Iron Crown that you can run, Goldango, and you're like, no, I'm gonna pull up with an AV Jirachi. It's like, oh, well, what are you doing? Thank you, AB Aesthetics. Appreciate it. Add a Ditto to the team. You don't need a Scarf due to para. Yeah, like, I hear the Ditto idea, and it does help with a lot of sweepers. I still don't think that's the move. This thing, we could go, like, Super Spadef onto Dun. Go with, like, a support Roost set with Covert Cloak. That could kind of do some stuff. Boom Burst. Yes, Spadef to Dun would actually be kind of cool here. Spadef to Dunsparce. That would solve some of our issues. Let's look at our potential ads and see if any of them can help with what we're dealing with. I mean, Zama helps with a decent amount. Cobalion can counter Kyurem, I think. Not really. No. Eevee spread onto Dun. I think it was to live like a Specs Draco Meteor from something. Maybe Terra Dragon Draco from something. I can't remember the exact. Yeah, ID Zama is definitely something I'm considering here. Someone in chat mentioned that. Yeah, because ID Zama does help with a lot, and it's kind of good on Paraspam because of sub, but I just don't know. We'd also like a poison type, ideally, so we don't just get totally rolled by Glamora. So let's see, any Thunderwave poison types? Glow King. Which obviously I'm not opposed to running, like it's a Glow King, but I don't think it really fits super well here. I mean, maybe it does. Glow King Zama seems not bad. Let's just give that a try. I want to try a very interesting set on this, which is, whoops. Go Thunder Wave, melee reception, Toxic, Sludge Bomb, Spadef. We can give this, just like run this and see kind of how it works and adjust as needed. Let's go sub. Yeah, sub makes sense here. And sure, honestly. Well, no, we don't need all that speed. It's Darkrai 385, right? We'll go with the slower Zama. I think that's okay. We'll go dark. Go dark. Help us break a little. Water seems fine. Done. We'll start with this and see how we feel about it. Pult, I think we want to go more on the side of Hex. Do we want... We can go Oops. We can go Ghost. I kind of want to try Modest. It's greedy, but I want to do it, so we're going to. $383 is fine. We do miss out on Dark. Missing out on Darkrai kind of feels terrible. Maybe we don't do that. Let's like try to speed creep zone. We'll go like 387. But I want to try... I feel like maybe some HP would not be bad on this. A little bulky Pult. We'll go minus. Spadef I think is okay. Pattern. We'll go leftovers on this. Just super bulky seems fine. Definitely not minus speed though. We don't want to go too... I feel like just going fast in this is kind of a waste. As much as I see the appeal, I don't think it's going to be super helpful for us. Maybe it will, but outspeeding Tinglu I think is a good benchmark to hit. So let's see if we can outspeed Tinglu with like 16 is the most I see them around 130. So we'll hit 131 on Hatterene. That's actually a ton of speed, but that'll get us some other speeds as well. If you're going Modest, surely you go Draco over Darts. No, because I want this to break stall. But thing is, behind a sub, it's like... Yeah, I think we're going to stick with this. We could also go attack, invested, potentially. We'll go Steel, Poison. We'll go Poison. I feel like Poison's been good for us with Hatterene. And then we'll just go... do we want to go... I feel like Modest is sensible here. Yeah, let's just run this. Dauntless Shield, regen. Seems good. Let's give it a go. This team have no prio. Okay, it's a paraspam team, but still. Yeah, it's a good point. So let's just say like notes here. Changes. Add prio. Whoops. Gambit. Add removal. Go Spadef to done with Roost over Rocks, perhaps. Slowking seems a bit off. Maybe a bad choice. Okay. There's no glare immunity here, so I really just want to lead with the Dunsparce. We're gonna say HF. I know there's some irony in that HF, but we're gonna say it anyway. If you had one more move to sweep on Zama, honestly, like maybe Howl. We could just set rocks. That's probably fine. Let's just do that. Okay, Future Sight. All right, I'm down to click Boom Burst and just kind of do damage. And it tries to tell a bad joke, but it gets hit hard. And then we're doing a ton of damage. That's awesome chip for Serp. And it gets paralyzed again. That's brutal. I think I'll EP here to cover the... Okay, going into Corviknight. Let's just click Glare on this. Awesome. We're paralyzing stuff. This is going swimmingly so far. Okay, we get hit by Brave Bird. Kind of would be nice to have Goldengo here, but it's fine. Go Pult on this. Got paralyzed, poor thing. Let's just click Hex. Okay, it's Spidaf. We could Terra Ghost to, like, shatter this. I don't think we need to. Let's just click regular Hex. Okay, U-turn. So Corv just deciding it does not want to be healthy, which is super works for me. Let's go Slowking here, just to kind of scout what this thing wants to do, and then hopefully we can get to Dunsparce back in. Darts comes out, that's banded damage, absolutely. So we're going to go into Hatterene here, and right back into Dodun. Let's see what this thing wants to click. Tries to tell a bad joke and gets paralyzed again. That's brutal. This opponent's had such bad luck with paralysis. That's just horrifying. And Corviknight there is going to be dead on entry. Now, they have other removal, but it's still rough. Yeah, you do kill with a Headlong Rush. I think I'm okay with that, to just click Boom Burst here and see what they want to do. They go for the Rapid Spin, so this poor Tusk, I think, is dead. Okay, no, that is... Okay, no, Tusk never dies there. I'm just tripping. I don't think our... Well, actually, our Zamazenta looks super... Actually, super good now that I know the sets of this thing. So what am I inclined to do here? Serp is not taking a Headlong Rush into an Ice Spinner. How much did this Dunsparce do, though? Let's calc this Boom Burst. That Boom Burst went and did 76. This is max HP Tusk, or potentially Assault Vest. Is that a possibility? No, it's not AV, because that would do more. So it's gotta be... No, we saw it not take rocks, actually. So it's heavy duty boots confirmed. So I'm tripping there. Probably max HP. Yeah, so it's going to be max HP, which means its Headlong Rush has a chance to kill the Dunsparce. Not a great one, though. Hatterene, can you live 2 of these? Hatterene can live 2. So I think we just go Hatterene. And then we can threaten a Draining Kiss. Okay, they close combat. That's even better. That's actually, yeah, that's really nice. I'm just going to click Draining Kiss. If they want to go Slowking, we can go into Dunsparce here. Fish for a para again. Try to get up Stealth Rock. Okay, they don't get the full para. I'm down to go into Hatterene here. They might U-turn, but I suspect they'll probably click Darts, and sure enough, we catch them. So I'm going to Calm Mind here just to kind of force this Slowking to actually attack me, and then we can go to Dunsparce and get up our Stealth Rock again. And they're just going to get fully paralyzed, which is cool with me. And there we go. They're clicking Sludge Bomb. They don't get the poison, unfortunately. Horrific RNG for my opponent this time. And we're going to get to click Boom Burst again. So really, really good damage we've been getting. They get off a Future Sight, which is good for them, but... this is still just a really brutal situation. I'm going to set up a sub here as I'm anticipating a Corviknight sack. That's what I would do if I was in my opponent's spot. So that's what I think we're going to see. I suspect they'll sack Corviknight, then go into their Dragapult. And we can kind of bait out a Dragon Darts and then go into Hatterene as the Future Sight hits. That's the plan. Okay, they want to go into Ogerpon. That works for me because they can't break unless they... like Terra. So I'm down to click Thunderwave on this and see what they want to do. U-turn will not break Substitute. Okay, so they're going to Encore, and then they break. So that's fine, honestly. I think Glowking is not that helpful at this stage, so I'm just going to go into that because I don't want them to Swords Dance up and cause a ton of problems. So, okay, this should just be a knockoff kill, or they might just Ivy Cudgel again as well. Either way, I think I'm okay with that. I think we do just let it go, so I'm just going to click Toxic here. If I go Serp, they should get scared out and either switch or something, so we can We'll just kind of invite the Glow King. Let's Leaf Storm and just kind of see what they've got. Okay, so it's going to be Glow King. I'm going to sub up here. The Pult probably is not Infiltrator, which is nice. They might Chili. They may have tried to Chili there. If so, that's unfortunate. Dragapult. So we'll see what ability this thing is here, I guess. I'm down to click Glare. Okay. Yeah, so we survive that, and Dragapult's going to get glared, which is awesome. Then we can Leaf Storm and kill... No, we can't Leaf Storm and kill that. Okay, that's fine. Totally all good, lol. You've gotten horrible RNG this game. I'm going to go Zama here, and I think we immediately ID up if they call it by going Ogerpon, like good play, but yeah, okay, they didn't, cool. And now I'm going to click Crunch. And I'll Crunch again here. I don't think we risk getting greedy. I think I Terra Dart Crunch here, just make sure we finish this thing off. Okay, and I'll just click Body Press here. We should be good to win this game, barring any colossal throws. Or really unfortunate RNG. Just go for the Crunch, let's see what they want to do. They just click Chili Reception, which works for me. Click Body Press. They want to Encore it, like that's fine. That's okay. Okay, they're going for the critical hit, which I don't think would kill. Yeah, critical hit wouldn't do it. They need to get 2 critical hits, and they don't get it, so that should be it. Yeah, that's it. GG. Yeah, well, that was brutal. I kind of feel bad for our opponent there, but hey, we got the win. Dragapult turned out to be quite an issue for us. Was a pretty major threat. I think one change I want to maybe make is go Terra Fairy on Dragapult, so we can kind of threaten other Pult. Slowking didn't really impress me, but I also feel like what else do we have for Raging Bolt, kind of, so. Could just go Treads over this thing, but. Yeah, Treads over this kind of just looks better. Treads over Glow King. Glow King might be... Let's